watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 10th of October. People of India stand by Israel, PM Modi tells Netanyahu. 2 Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists neutralized in encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. And Sri Lanka to take over as chair of Indian Ocean Rim Association. And now for all the details. Indian security forces on Tuesday neutralized 2 terrorists in an encounter in Shopian district of Jammu and Kashmir territory. In a statement, the Indian Army said security forces had launched a joint operation on the intervening night of 9th to 10th of October after an intelligence input tipped off about the presence of terrorists in the region. The slain terrorists were identified as Morifat Maqbool and Jazim Farooq, affiliated to Pakistan-based terror outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba. According to Jammu and Kashmir police, both were involved in killing of a Kashmiri Pandit earlier this year.
तो इस खबर पे जेकेपी पुलिस और 44 आरआर और 178 सीआरपीएफ की ज्वाइंट फोर्सेस ने कॉर्डन किया था और रात में अराउंड 1 बजे के अराउंड हमारे फोर्सेस के ऊपर फायर किया टेररिस्ट लोगों ने। रात भर ही ऑपरेशन चला है और सुबह 7 बजे के अराउंड 2 टेररिस्ट, दोनों लोकल हैं शोपियां के, मारिफत मगलू जो कि चैगुन का रहने वाला है और जाजिम फारूक जो शिरमाल का रहने वाला है, ये दोनों इस ऑपरेशन में न्यूट्रलाइज हुए।
Well, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday said that he received a call from his Israeli counterpart Benjamin Netanyahu, who informed him about the current situation in the Jewish country following attacks by terrorist group Hamas. In a post on X, PM Modi reaffirmed support to Israel in this difficult hour and said India strongly condemns terrorism in all its forms. Meanwhile, Israeli tourists visiting Indian hill town of Dharamshala embittered due to the ongoing war between Israel and Palestine. They say they are unable to go back to their homeland and join the army due to the disrupted air connectivity.
Well, it's terrifying, it's shocking. We would never believe it's going to happen for us. Israel knows war from the past, but this one is really touching every single person and my family, my friends. Yeah.
Yes, thanks God, everybody's safe. I do have many families, many members from my family that are serving now and trying to protect our land from the terrible attack that is having.
Also, Israel has been rocked by the attacks that started this past weekend when fighters from the terrorist group Hamas killed hundreds of Israelis and abducted dozens, the deadliest such incursion in decades, prompting Israel to retaliate by pounding the Palestinian enclave of Gaza. Meanwhile, dozens of students in Nepal's Lalitpur held a candlelight vigil on Monday in remembrance of Nepali students who were killed in attacks by Hamas on Israel this past weekend. A national day of mourning was also declared by Prime Minister Pushpa Dahal on Tuesday to mourn the loss of lives. The 10 students who fell victim to the Saturday's terrorist attack were in Israel under the Tel Aviv's Learn and Earn scheme. As per Nepal's foreign ministry, around 265 Nepali students are present in Israel as part of this scheme. Additionally, 4,500 other Nepali nationals are also working in the West Asia country as caregivers. Nepal government has opened registration for its nationals in Israel and has announced a chartered flight will be sent to Tel Aviv to repatriate them.
इजरायलमा फसेका मेरा आफ्ना साथीहरू पनि छन्, कतिपय मेरा भाइ बहिनीहरू पनि छन् र सरकारलाई चाहिँ हामी के भन्न चाहन्छौँ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ यथाशीघ्र त्यहाँ भएका पीडित भएका साथीहरूलाई चाहिँ उद्धार गरियोस् र केही रेस्क्यु गरियो भन्ने कुराहरू पनि आएका छन्। ती पोजिटिभ कुराहरू भए।
And moving on, residents of Gilgit Baltistan have expressed fears of flooding as the region remains at risk of glacial lake outburst, while Pakistan remains negligent towards mitigation efforts. A report. People in Gilgit Baltistan living near a massive glacier on Monday said they feel the threat of flooding even more after the recent flooding in neighboring India, triggered by the bursting of a glacial lake. Gilgit Baltistan, which is called the land of glaciers, remains at risk of flooding in summers when the ice melts. Last year, the region suffered drastically due to the deluge that left a trail of destruction. Residents lament Pakistan government has turned a blind eye to their problems with no efforts for mitigation and rehabilitation.
ग्लेशियर के बर्स्ट होने के बाद या उस झील के बर्स्ट होने के बाद बहुत सारे कीमती जानों का ज़िया हुआ है। उसी तरह का डर और खौफ हमारे यहाँ के जो रिहायशों के अंदर भी है और अल्लाह न ख्वास्ता कल को ये झील अगर क्योंकि विंटर्स में ये झील इसकी फॉर्मेशन होती है और समर्स में ये बस्ट हो जाती है, तो अल्लाह न ख्वास्ता अगर कमिंग ईयर भी इस तरह का इम्पैक्ट आया तो हमारे पूरा सारे देखें आप सारे घराने इसी के बिल्कुल ही क्या कहते हैं बैंक के ऊपर हैं, तो बिल्कुल ख़तरात हैं, इन सारे रिहायशों के ख़तरात हैं जिसके ऊपर अभी तक गवर्नमेंट ने कोई प्रॉपर एक्शन भी नहीं लिया, इसके लिए कोई प्रोटेक्टिव मेजर भी नहीं लिए हैं। आप देख सकते हैं कोई अभी तक कोई वॉल तक जो है ना अभी तक जो है ना वो यहाँ पे नहीं बना है।
हम मिसाल देते हैं पिछले साल जो फ्लडिंग की वजह से जो हमारा ब्रिज डैमेज हुआ, हम इस वक्त इसी ब्रिज के ऊपर खड़े हैं, तो हमें प्रोटेक्शन चाहिए। प्रोटेक्शन के बगैर कम्युनिटी जो है वो यहाँ पे बहुत ख़तरे में है, तो हमारी गुजारिश है गवर्नमेंट से भी, मुख्तलिफ NGOs से भी और मुख्तलिफ डिपार्टमेंट्स से भी कि इस वक्त जो है जो सूरत हाल है इस हवाले से हमारे लिए प्रोटेक्शन की बहुत ज़रूरत है इस वक्त।
Locals have long complained of discrimination by Islamabad. They accuse Pakistan does not grant the locals any political rights and representation but continues to exploit the region and its resources. The funeral ceremony for 300 victims of the earthquake that hit Afghanistan was held on Monday with the participation of Taliban officials. The earthquake was followed by 8 strong aftershocks and shook many areas in Herat, causing village houses to collapse and residents to run to the streets. Relatives of the deceased urged the international community to provide humanitarian and financial aid. The Taliban administration has said more than 4,000 people have been killed and many more injured in the quakes, which were among the world's deadliest this year.
دیگه 4 تا پسرا بود که اونم هم تو از دیگه خدا کو بود بیشتر نمیفهم 11 تا من زیر سال خاک کردم 11 تا.
Well, the UN's humanitarian office has announced $5 million worth of assistance, but immediate material support has come from a limited few countries. Afghanistan's healthcare system, largely reliant on foreign aid, has faced crippling cuts in the 2 years since the Taliban took over. And Sri Lanka is all set to host the 23rd IORA Council of Ministers meeting in Colombo on Wednesday, with foreign ministers from the Indian Ocean Rim Association expected to take part. The ministers will deliberate on ways to cooperate on priority areas, including trade and investment, maritime safety and security, and blue economy, among others. A statement from President's office said that during the regional summit, Sri Lanka will take over as the chair of the grouping from Bangladesh. On Tuesday, IORA committee of senior officials held discussions to set agenda and make recommendations to the Council of Ministers. And calligraphy has become a new attraction as well as a passion among youngsters, especially girls in India's Jammu and Kashmir. In order to promote the old and rich tradition and to provide a specific platform for interested candidates, authorities of the Academy of Art, Culture and Languages organized a 10-day workshop in Srinagar recently. Calligraphy in Kashmir is an ancient art. It suffered during the times of insurgency, but a revival in interest in the art has been seen in recent years. The participants also expressed joy over getting more opportunities to learn the craft.
यहाँ मुझे लगता है कश्मीर में इस टाइम पे मोस्ट ऑफ गर्ल्स कैलीग्राफी ही करते हैं एंड ये कैलीग्राफी सिर्फ उनका ये नहीं कि हॉबी, उन्होंने इसका बिजनेस बनाया है और वो माशाल्लाह से बहुत अच्छा कमाते भी है इसमें। जैसे कि मेरा भी एक पेज है बट मैं कैलीग्राफी नहीं करती हूँ, बट इंशाल्लाह मैं चाहती हूँ यहाँ से जब मैं निकलूँ तो मैं अब कैलीग्राफी ही स्टार्ट करूँ और उसी के थ्रू मैं कमाऊँ कुछ।
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, लाइक ये चीज़ रिवाइव हो रही है फिर से। लेकिन आप जो डिजिटल कैलीग्राफी की बात कर रहे हैं, मैं उसके बारे में कहना चाहती हूँ कि वो उसमें उतनी फिनिशिंग नहीं होती जितना आपको हाथ से लिखी हुई कैलीग्राफी में मिलती है। वो इतनी खूबसूरत नहीं होती जितनी हाथ से लिखी हुई कैलीग्राफी होती है। इसीलिए मैं चाहती हूँ ये वर्कशॉप जो हमारे लिए था, ये बहुत ही फ़ायदेमंद था हमारे लिए, हमें बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला यहाँ पर।
That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.